All right, if you're a developer in the AI space, you know things are moving, well, at lightning speed. So today, we're going to talk about a tool that's pretty much becoming essential if you want to keep up. It's called LiteLLM. So let me just ask you this straight up. Are you tired of rewriting your code every single time you want to try out a new AI model? You want to switch from one LLM to another and suddenly it's a huge project. If you're nodding along right now, yeah, you're definitely in the right place. Think about it like this. It's just like the old days of phone chargers, right? Before LiteLLM, it felt like you needed a totally different cable for your iPhone, your Android, your laptop, a different API for every single model provider. It was just messy, super inefficient. But with LiteLLM, it's like finally getting that one universal charger with all the little adapters. Simple, clean, and it just works with everything. So here's what we're going to do in this explainer. First, we'll dig into what we're calling the AI API problem. Then we'll see how LiteLLM steps in as that universal adapter. We'll peek under the hood to see how it works. And finally, we'll talk about exactly when you should and maybe when you shouldn't use it. Okay, so first up, the AI API problem. And really what this boils down to is vendor lock-in. And trust me, this isn't just some buzzword. It is a real headache for developers. So picture this. You've built your awesome app on top of OpenAI's API. Everything's great, but now you hear that maybe Anthropic's Claude is a bit cheaper, or maybe it's better for your specific task. So you think, hey, let me just try it out. And bam, you hit a wall. Suddenly you realize the API format is different, the authentication is different, even the parameter names are different. It means you have to go back and rewrite a whole bunch of your code just for a simple test. And look, this is way more than just a minor inconvenience. This kind of lock-in literally kills experimentation. It makes you think twice before trying a new model, it stops you from finding the best cost-to-performance ratio, and it just totally limits your freedom as a developer. Okay, so that's the problem. It's a big one. So what's the solution? Well, this is where LiteLLM comes in. It was built from the ground up to fix this exact problem of fragmentation. So what is it really? At its core, LiteLLM is just this fantastic open source library. And its whole job, its entire reason for existing, is to give you one unified interface to talk to, get this, over 100 different large language models. We're talking OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, Cohere, you name it. Even open source models you're running locally. And this is the really cool part. It's all about simplicity. You write your code once, and you get to use the OpenAI format that, pretty much everyone knows. And after that, you can switch to any other model by changing literally one single word. That's it. Just one string. Okay, so how on earth does it actually do that? Let's pull back the curtain and see what's going on behind the scenes. It's actually a pretty simple workflow. Your app sends a request, just a standard one, to LiteLLM. Then, LiteLLM does the heavy lifting. It acts like a universal translator. It takes your request and reformats it for whatever provider you're trying to hit, whether it's Anthropic, Google, whoever. Then, when the response comes back, LiteLLM translates it back into that same standard format. Your app? It never even knows it was talking to anything other than one consistent API. Okay, let's look at some actual code, because this is where it really clicks. Here, we're making a call with GPT-4. You can see we just import completion from LiteLLM, and in the model parameter, we just say GPT-4. Super standard, right? Now, what if we want to use Claude instead? Check this out. The only thing that changes is the model string. We just swap GPT-4 for Claude 3 Sonnet. The rest of the code, it stays exactly the same. No rewriting anything. And again, what about Gemini Pro from Google? You guessed it, same exact code. We just changed the model name to Gemini Pro. It's that easy. This is that write once, run anywhere promise in action. But LiteLLM isn't just a one-trick pony. It's not just a simple translator. It has some seriously powerful features for building real production-grade apps. So yeah, you get the unified interface, but you also get things like automatic model fallbacks. Think about that. If your call to GPT-4 times out or fails for some reason, LiteLLM can automatically retry the request with, say, Claude, to make sure your app stays up and running. That's huge for reliability. And on top of that, it has built-in cost tracking, so you can actually see how much you're spending across all these different providers in one place. In the number of models it supports, it's just, wow, over 100. I mean, think about that. All the big players, OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, but also open source giants like Llama, and even models you can run right on your own machine with tools like Ollama. The list just keeps growing. Okay, so it sounds great, right? But the big question is, when should you actually use it in your own projects? Let's break that down. LiteLLM is going to be a perfect fit for you if you're using more than one AI provider, or even if you just think you might want to in the future. It's for you if you want the freedom to switch models easily, without a headache. It's for you if you need to keep an eye on your costs and find the best bang for your buck. And it's definitely for you if you need your app to be super reliable, using those model fallbacks we talked about. Basically, it's for anyone who hates the idea of vendor lock-in. But hey, let's be real, it might not be for everyone. If you are 100% absolutely positively only ever going to use one single AI provider, then yeah, maybe just using their direct API is a little simpler. Or if you need some super specific deep-in-the-weeds feature that only one provider offers, you might need to call their API directly. And of course, if your project is just a tiny script, maybe adding a whole new dependency is overkill. It's good to know the trade-offs. And this chart does a great job of showing where LiteLLM fits in. You've got services like OpenRouter, which are great, but they're a managed service and you pay a fee. LiteLLM, on the other hand, is free and you host it yourself, so you have total control. Then you've got direct APIs, which we've talked about. They vary in complexity. And then there's something like LangChain, which is a massive framework. LangChain can do model switching, but that's just one small part of what it does. LiteLLM is different. It's not a framework, it's a tool that is laser-focused on one thing, being the absolute best universal adapter for AI models. And maybe the best part of all is just how simple it is to get started. I mean, it's literally pip install LiteLM. That's it. From there, you're writing code like we just saw. The barrier to entry is practically zero, so you can try it out in like 5 minutes. So if you're going to remember just 3 things, remember these. First, LiteLLM is that universal adapter for over 100 AI models. Second, it gives you flexibility and freedom from vendor lock-in. And third, it's production ready, it's open source, and you have complete control over it. Which brings me to one last question to leave you with. As tools like LiteLLM become just a standard part of every developer's toolkit, does this mean the whole API fragmentation problem is solved? I mean, really, is it even a problem anymore? Something to think about.